what is your thoughts when you hear this news coming out of UBS and how this might actually affect trade maybe in the Swiss franc?
Well, I certainly wouldn't put any emphasis on one particular bank. I think that the focus here really should be on the Swiss franc, and certainly it's in some ways for the market the Swiss franc's been a non-event in the last week or so since we had the announcement of a 120 minimum level on Euro Swiss. We could say that to date the SNB's policy has been extremely successful. We haven't seen a challenge on that 120 level. Doesn't suggest or doesn't mean that that's going to hold forever, and certainly if we do see significant stresses in the euro area, I think you could see Euro Swiss under pressure again, or at least the market having a battle with the SNB. But as we stand at the moment, there doesn't seem to be much stress on that Euro Swiss minimum level.
I suppose not, but I suppose the ceiling imposed on the currency as a haven, as a hedge against more risky trades, that is gone because of that link with the euro. It's depriving other investors of that hedge, isn't it?
Well, certainly that is correct. Usually in G10 markets, the yen and the Swiss franc are the traditional safe havens. Clearly, you could argue this puts more pressure on the yen, and potentially we could see flows into the yen as a result of the Swiss effectively being taken out of the picture. No word yet as far as intervention from Japanese authorities are concerned. Although we should stress, when the Swiss first started to ease policy in an attempt to weaken the Swiss franc, the Japanese followed up with intervention. So that risk is still there. I think what's also interesting in the markets, and something we're being asked here a lot by clients, is, well, what are other safe havens that could take the place of the Swiss franc? And we would say at the moment there are not that many. So from our perspective here, I think the yen remains the obvious alternative.
Let me just ask you a little bit more, because we have been focusing so much on UBS and the Swiss franc in the past hour because of this breaking news. Let's not forget the euro and the troubles that it is having. Where do you see that going? And do you actually see, if Greece were to default, could it still stay in the euro?
Well, I think the key point to focus on here is there's been a lot of pressure on the euro over the past week or so, particularly surrounding Greece. But I think what we had last night in this discussion, this telephone call between Merkel, Sarkozy and the Greek Prime Minister Papandreou was, I think, very supportive for the market. Particularly Sarkozy and Merkel made it very clear they see Greece as an integral part of the euro. They were clearly giving support to Greece, to its measures on austerity, and I think that's actually taken some of the risk out of the market. So we would certainly look at that development as positive for the euro, and I think in the near term we would probably stick our neck out here and say prospects for actually a bounce in the euro are more likely.